Hello, Pipe community. Ethan, Parsimonious Piper here. Today we are saying happy birthday to Merca. Happy birthday, Merca. All right, folks. We've got Morsels for mental manducation today. But first, in a Missouri Meerschaum Patriot, what could be more Merkin? Let's adjust this down. Woo! That's a tall hat. What could be more Merkin than a Missouri Meerschaum Patriot cob? And in it, got a bowl of Rustica. Got to be something closer to what those guys were smoking than what we have today. No cherry flavoring on this Rustica. Good stuff. Last time we talked about the origin of rights. Today on America's birthday, I want to talk a little bit about the purpose, the primary purpose of government. To that end, it is appropriate to quote from the Declaration of Independence. No, I'm not going to read the whole thing. A couple other guys here have done that, and I think that's important. We're just going to talk about the beginning and the end. Everybody says when you write an essay, what do people read? They read the first paragraph, they read the last paragraph. Make sure your important stuff is there. And in our Declaration of Independence, the important stuff is there. Let's read. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. Now, some people are going to throw in there, well, what about slaves? Yes, slavery was certainly an abomination, and it did not comport well with this idea that all men have these rights. This is a fact and a debate that was going on at that time. Slavery was not universally accepted among the founders of our nation, but without allowing it, the nation would not have been created. That's an important fact. Rustica comes a little wet. That's another important fact. It'll require some relights if you give it a shot. Good stuff. So we're not dealing today with slavery. We fought a war over that. Not very many nations did. Today we're talking about what is the purpose, the primary purpose of government, and it comes right there in the second part of that. To secure these rights. What rights? In this case, Jefferson was talking about life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. Our government is not empowered, it's not able to guarantee or secure the achievement of happiness. It is supposed to guarantee you the right to pursue happiness as you define it. Therein, securing those rights is the primary purpose of government. Now, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. This was a new idea. This is not something that had been tried in thousands of years since the Greeks. That the power of the government, the just powers, were derived solely from the consent of the people governed. This becomes important over a decade later when the Constitution comes into play, because the Constitution specifically limits the powers that are given to the federal government and leaves the rest of them up to the states, closer to the people, where their rights are more likely to be protected. We have strayed quite a bit from that image of a controlled, limited, centralized government. But that federal government is supposed to exist to secure our rights. That's it. This Declaration of Independence was, in fact, a statement that the consent of the governed was being withdrawn from the crown because the crown was not securing the rights of those governed. The debate was long. It was contentious. If you would like to see a humorous version of it, the movie musical 1776 is brilliantly done. It is accurate enough historically to tell you what happened, and inaccurate enough to be humorous. My wife and I watch it just about every year. But the consent of the governed was withdrawn. And the Declaration, in fact, declares that any time that the government does not continue to secure the rights of the governed have their own right then to dissolve that government. That is, in fact, what the Declaration of Independence did, is it declared that that relationship between the crown and the colonies was being dissolved. Not an easy thing to do when you're talking about, at the time, the most powerful navy in the world, the most powerful army in the world, up against a bunch of ragtag colonies. But it's important for us to remember. Let's take a look at the closing statement of the Declaration, because it's just as powerful. And for the support of this declaration, with the firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. If these men had lost, they would have been hanged. Their families would have been left destitute. It took a lot of courage, it took a lot of fortitude to declare that the purpose of government is, in fact, to secure the rights of the people, and that when that no longer happens, the people have the right to dissolve the government. Something to ponder, particularly in these days when the rights of the individual are no longer considered important against the good or the welfare of the group. It's not what we were founded on, but I got to tell you, I am thankful that there were men with very big cojones who were willing to stand up to the most powerful nation on the planet and say no more. Go, America. With that, light something you like. Enjoy this beautiful, beautiful July 4th. Here in the States, if you're abroad, trust me, you can be thankful the United States was created too. Enjoy your afternoon.